Let's talk about the community team of the season. Now, it was announced earlier this week that there would be a vote put in place on the EA Sports forums that would allow us to vote on who we would want to see get a team of the season via the community. So, thanks to a helpful Redditor by the name of WlNNIPEGJETS, he put together a nice graph that can show us how it's going so far, and I want to touch on that because, again, it will have set implications. All right, let's get into it. So let's start by taking a look at the options and how this is going to work. So the top player votes will determine the following: 4 North American players, 4 European players, the top overseas European League player, 2 young stars, and then the top women's player. So again, like I mentioned, via WlNNIPEGJETS on Reddit, here was the results as of about 2 days ago. Really not much has changed. So let's start with the 4 North American players. We've got Cale Makar, who is out in front. No surprise there. He's one of the most popular players in the league, having a down season by his standards, and Erik Karlsson absolutely shattering things when it comes to the Norris vote, I would hope. But nonetheless, kind of a letdown from his past dominance. Follow it up closely by Austin Matthews. Again, no surprise here. He's a Toronto Maple Leaf. They have the biggest fan base when it comes to this game. And again, by his standards, having a pretty mediocre year. Then we've got Dylan Larkin. And this is what I wanted to bring up and talk to you guys about. This is where the vote clearly is heavily implemented by the X Factor choice here. So Dylan Larkin's X Factor has been a phenomenal card throughout the season. It has been one of the few X Factors that I think have been actually worth upgrading throughout the year because he's been so fast, and he was fast at a very cheap tier. He also has some pretty good zone abilities, which made him a pretty decent X Factor for a lot of players to use. And clearly, this is still the case, as a ton of people have voted for Dylan Larkin to get a North American Team of the Season card, which would allow them to trade in their high-rated Dylan Larkin X Factor at a very highly discounted cost, and then when he goes up to 99, you won't have to pay the rest. Again, no surprise there at all when it comes to just how the upgrades work and the community voting system. And then lastly, we've got Steven Stamkos. And this is what I want to touch on when it comes to sets with this vote and what it looks like is going to happen. So Steven Stamkos' X Factor card was good at the beginning of the year and has been pretty decent throughout, but there has been a lot of decent right-handed options early on in the year that made him kind of replaceable at the cost that he was. However, his X Factor card does not have a lot of great X Factor abilities. If he gets Team of the Season and you still have that Steven Stamkos X Factor boosted up to its max, you're going to be locked into a very, very good Team of the Season card, because I'm sure that they're going to give him unstoppable fours, close quarters, elite edges, all of that, because that's what they've done for all of the Team of the Season cards. The one that's close that kind of interests me is Brent Burns. He's having a very good year, but not one that would qualify to get him Team of the Season. However, he's so big, and it would be awesome to see him get an actual in-game card that's usable. His skating is so slow that it makes it awfully tough to use him, especially if you play a lot of games online. That would be really fun. Then, as you can see, the list goes down a little bit further, and these guys look like they don't really have much of a shot. Moving on to the European, the number 1 vote getter is Alex Ovechkin. No surprise there. Now, his X Factor card has lost a lot of its juice because, again, as the year goes along, you're going to see these cards that cost a lot to upgrade, and their speed is just kind of getting outpaced quite quickly by Master Set players and other boosted cards. He also doesn't have a ton of great zone abilities on his X Factor, but if he gets Team of the Season, he's going to be one of the best right-handed wingers in the game. So if you have Alex Ovechkin's X Factor card, and you have a lot of power-up collectibles, he might be one to invest in because, again, at a very discounted rate, his Team of the Season card is going to be one of the best. The next one up is Victor Hedman, and I knew that people would find a way to get this card in the game. He has had a down season, again, by his standards. He is clearly not going to get the Team of the Season without this vote. Now, his X Factor card was very, very good for the first few months of the season. That gold stick-em-up on someone who's 6'6", with around high 80s skating, was just absolutely a nightmare to deal with. But over the last month or so, because all these cards have hit 99 speed, he has definitely lost his juice. He's very difficult to use because he just gets blown by down the boards and things like that. You combine the cost to upgrade the tiers, and again, he kind of lost a lot of his value. I talked about this a lot throughout the year, that Victor Hedman's card, as the year goes along, would lose a lot of its value. He gets Team of the Season. If he gets Silver Truculence or anything like that, you're looking at the best right-handed defenseman in the game. So again, if you have his X Factor, hold on to him because he's going to get a European Team of the Season. Then we've got Miro Heiskanen and Mika Zibanejad. Both are going to be extremely good. If you have Miro Heiskanen's flashback card, one of the Mount Rushmore Master Set players from Hockey Ultimate Team, in my opinion, hold on to it, obviously, because it looks like you're going to be able to do a pretty cheap trade-in to get his Team of the Season card. However, it's an absolute travesty that you won't be able to use that card art, and you're going to get some lame Christmas chocolate coin Team of the Season art. And then Mika Zibanejad, again, the Rangers have a rabid fan base, and this one really doesn't surprise me at all. Zibanejad cards are very, very good because of his size. Once he gets decent skating as well. His X Factor card has brutal zone abilities, so again, Team of the Season cards giving you that huge boost. This would be an awesome one. Even if you have his milestone card still, it's going to cost quite a bit, but there'll be a guaranteed way to get him. Hampus Lindholm as well. I think this one is because so many people made that Master Set player Hampus Lindholm card, and Boston's having a great year. I think that's what's driving this vote. It'd be interesting to see how this one shakes out, because I think that that would be a very good Team of the Season card. And then down to the young stars, we've got Martin Necas, 350 votes. Necas is a great build in-game, and he's also a very fun player just to watch in general. The real surprise is Matthias Micheli from the Arizona Coyotes, who's had a great year, like very under-the-radar rookie campaign. That would be awesome. I don't believe he has a card art. I might be wrong on that, but it might be another blank one, so yay. And then right behind him would be Pavel Mintyukov. I think that maybe some fantasy players that have his card might be driving that vote. I'd love to see a Mintyukov Team of the Season just because I love the player. I'm a big fan of the OHL, love my Ice Dogs. Mintyukov has roasted them, and he was one of my favorite players to watch actually play in junior this year. So again, guys, why I want to bring this up is because if you are making some decisions on cards to break down or cards you want to move along from, I want you guys to have this information so that you don't do that a little too early and then, is absolutely frustrating here. So Alex Ovechkin's X Factor card, like I mentioned, his abilities outside of Unstoppable Force, I'm okay with truculence on forwards. I think it's just much more impactful on defensemen, but at silver, it's a much less cost. He's probably going to get like elite edges as well as close quarters. They always make him better, so just keep that in mind. And he might get 3 skating synergies as well, so that would really help him out because that's what really drives down his value right now. At 94, it's going to cost 4 collectibles to go up to 95, and he's just going to be a 90 overall speed card, which is brutal for the cost involved. So if he gets a Team of the Season card and gets multiple skating synergies, you're laughing, and you don't have to upgrade him for the rest of the year. Guys, I also want to point this out. The NHL 23 World Championship is starting this weekend, the bracket play, and these cards are going to be very, very expensive if you have them tradable or if you want to get Victor Hedman, for example. So just keep that in mind because these are extremely meta cards, but Victor Hedman at 92 right now, again, it's his skating that is making it absolutely really, really tough to actually use defensively. If he gets a Team of the Season card and gets double skating synergies and you can upgrade him for the rest of the year, he's going to be in the playoffs, so he's got a shot at easy upgrades, and if he gets a couple skating improvements, you're laughing. If he gets silver truculence, like, good lord, but that is a big one. I would not get rid of him. And then again, Dylan Larkin, Austin Matthews, all these X Factors, guys, if you have them untradeable, and let's say you just haven't upgraded them, again, this is the only clear path to getting a actual guaranteed Master Set Team of the Season player, so that does have value. It's going to be very expensive to do the upgrade. There are ways to get power-up collectibles that are kind of cheaper. Again, if you are in Hut Champs and you're still grinding Hut Champs, 11 wins will get you 5 a week, but just something to keep in mind here. I wanted to bring that to your guys' attention because once the Community Team of the Season is up and we get onto the playoff events and the summer events, the user base is going to crater even harder than it already has, and it's going to be very difficult to get these cards. So, again, I wanted to bring this all to your attention, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.